want to talk about how to recharge our frontal lobes. And it's an interesting area to consider. The prefrontal cortex of the frontal lobes, as I've discussed before, is the size of your fist, and it's right behind your forehead. And this is called the higher brain. And this is the part of the brain that's involved in judgment. I should do this or do that, as discernment. Planning. Oh, okay, if I need to be somewhere in 3 hours, that means I need to do the following things in 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's a distinct function of the prefrontal cortex. Also, sense of self. There's just that, I'm happy about myself, I'm not happy about myself. And this part of your brain is talked about as if it's like a battery that can run out of juice. When we are all day long going, and making decisions all the time, and it's also involved in controlling our functions, then we can run out of juice. And this is in contrast to a part of the brain called your brain stem, which is part of your brain that connects your spinal column with the limbic system and the higher brain. You don't have to memorize that. But I'm going to read to you from an article in Psychology Today that just came out 2 days ago. And that part of the brain stem, and even the limbic system have been called the cave person's brain. The brain stem is working all the time. That controls heartbeat, breathing all the time. So this is what it says. Unlike our cave person brain, which functions continuously, our prefrontal cortex is more like a battery. Essentially, we drain our prefrontal lobe battery as we control our behavior throughout the day. And during COVID-19, not only are our cave person brains on fire, fight or flight, getting all heated up, but our frontal lobe batteries are incredibly spent. There's an enormous number of new behaviors required for us to get through a COVID day that continuously change. All these require frontal lobe battery power to do so. And because we can't do much to control the stress of the outer pandemic, we should focus instead on charging our frontal lobes. A recharging activity is something that makes you feel more energetic at the end than at the start. So obviously meditation. But in addition, recharging activities can be getting a good night's sleep, eating healthy foods, staying hydrated, engaging in physical activity, being in nature, social connections. But there are also individual differences in recharging activities. For example, for an extrovert, socializing may be a battery recharge, whereas for an introvert, it would be draining, exhausting. Also, probably an optimal amount of time for something to be recharging. A 30-minute walk might be recharging, but a 6-hour walk might be draining. And then it concludes by saying, a recharging activity should not feel like another item on your to-do list. Even though going for a walk may be a healthy activity for many people, if you feel angry or irritated by the end of the walk, that's not so good. That's not a recharging activity, even if it's a healthy habit. What we are looking for are activities that make us smile, feel lighter, or more energized. Many of our previous recharging activities are no longer available or are altered during the pandemic. We therefore have to be more creative and deliberate in terms of identifying and integrating recharging activities into our daily lives. Some of these, again, could be being in nature, socializing, can be online, reading, a hot tub or a hot bath. Very simple, basic things. So when we feel frantic or mentally exhausted, that's because the battery power in the frontal lobes were just exhausted from having to control so much, to make so many decisions, to make so many choices. We've run out of juice. And unlike the brainstem, which just keeps going, the frontal lobe needs recharging. I have 2 short quotes from Shakespeare. Timeless wisdom. From All's Well That Ends Well, Countess of Roussillon shares this bit of simple wisdom with her son as he sets out for court far away. I'll read it twice. Quote, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. And finally, from Twelfth Night, Olivia speaks these lines to express the joy of unexpected love rather than that which is pined for. Quote, love sought is good, but given unsought is better. Love sought is good, but given unsought is better. Have a good rest of your afternoon and evening, and as always, we will connect again soon.